In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your front brake hose on your Kia Soul. It's located behind your front wheel. When replacing any sort of hydraulic part in your vehicle, you want to press down your brake pedal using a pry bar or a pole of some sort while you're doing the work so that you do not lose all the brake fluid out of your master cylinder and the brake bleed won't be so difficult. I'm going to use a 21mm socket, take off the front wheel. You're going to use a 12mm socket. Break loose that bolt for your brake hose. Your brake pedal is pressed down with a pry bar inside the vehicle. So that you don't lose a lot of fluid. Once you have that free, we're going to go up top where the line is. All right, you're going to need an 11mm line wrench. Loosen up this line. Okay. Once you get that line disconnected, you can take some wire cutters or pliers and take off your spring clip. I'm going to use a 10mm socket to disconnect this bracket. Now you're ready to take off your hose. If your car is just as rusty as this one, it's going to take a minute to get out because it's stuck in a little hole right here. Might need a screwdriver. There we have it. All right, so now we are going to make sure our hose is shaped right by giving it a rough estimate of where things live. This one looks good. Compare it to your old one also. I'm going to feed this through the bracket. The curved edges go where the curved edges are in the bracket. Line up your line. Hand tighten your fitting in, and once that's somewhat tight, you can put your spring clip in there. To hold the hose in place. I'm going to use a little hammer to tap that in. Okay, You can tighten this down now. All right, so make sure you take out this washer that's here. There shouldn't be any copper. If you see copper, it means it's really flattened up against the caliper, so make sure you pick that off. We're going to use new washers. I'm going to make a hose sandwich. You're going to put your copper washer on this end, and then you're going to put it on this end. So feed your bolt through and put your washer on the other end. And then you're going to move your hose to fit into where it goes. Start your bolt first. Make sure this piece fits in this notch. Now you can tighten it down. So now we're going to put our bracket in. This part goes in that hole down there. Just snug that down. Check your work, and everything looks good. All right, so now we're going to take our pry bar off the brake and do a gravity bleed. All right, so we're going to check our reservoir, master cylinder, make sure it has enough. This vehicle takes dot 3 or 4. I'm going to fill it up to max. We're going to put our cap back on. And then we're going to go do a gravity bleed. All right, now that we've checked our fluid, make sure we're at max. I'm going to take our cap off. Open up our bleeder. Make sure you have a drain pan below you. I'm going to wait. Watch for air bubbles. We're looking for a steady stream without the bubbles. Once you see a steady stream and no air bubbles, you can close it. Recheck your master. Make sure it's topped off to max. And then you're going to check your brake pedal. Make sure it's not squishy. If it's squishy, you might have to do a full brake bleed procedure. And then put your cap back on. And brake clean that off. Just want to make sure you get all that brake fluid off. Don't hit the rubber parts. Put your wheel back on after that dries. All right, we're going to put our wheel back on. Start our lug nuts. Use a 21mm socket. You're going to snug these down in a star-like pattern. Now that we have the vehicle on the ground, we are going to torque our wheels to 80 foot-pounds with a 21mm socket. We're going to do this in a star-like pattern, and then we're going to check it again. All right, now you can take a deep breath because this job is done. You can take it for a road test. We're going to follow the brake sequence. It's right rear first, then to the front left, and then to the left rear, and then to the front right. You're going to take off your bleeder cap, set that off to the side. You're going to use a 10mm wrench. Crack open that, make sure that bleeder opens. You're going to use this hose. You want to catch the fluid somehow, so you can use something like this or a pan below. And then you're going to have a partner in the vehicle, and you're going to ask them to pump the brakes. And then you're going to ask them to hold. And when they hold, you're going to open the bleeder. Is that to the floor?
It's on the floor, down.
And then you're going to close the bleeder. Pump it up, please.
Holding.
Holding, and then I open the bleeder. That's to the floor. Close the bleeder. And do one more. Pump it up.
Holding.
And open the bleeder. That's to the floor. And then close the bleeder. You're going to close that bleeder down. Replace your cap. Let's clean our area. And move on to the next wheel. All right, so now you're going to take your cap off the bleeder, run this one. Place your hose on and do the same thing you just did. So pump it up, please.
Holding.
And you're going to close it. Pump it up, please.
Holding.
Close it. Do one more.
Holding.
That looks good. You're going to close that down. Going to put your cap back on. Going to clean our area. And then you're going to check your master cylinder and add fluid. So now we're going to top off our fluids. Make sure it goes to the max. Cap back on. After topping off your fluid, repeat the bleed process on the next two wheels, the left rear and the right front. And now we're ready to go back up top and check our fluid in our master cylinder, make sure it's topped off. Goes to the max. Put our cap back on. All right, now that you've checked your level on your master cylinder, you're going to get in your vehicle and you're going to check your brake pedal. If your brake pedal feels a little spongy, you might have to bleed your brakes again. If it feels hard and it's right at the top, then you're good to go and you should take it for a test drive.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.